He's done it! One chance, one goal.
Tyler Flynn, thanks for joining us. Flynn, we'll start with you. How big a result is that tonight for you after the recent run?
No, it's massive. I think to come here, the form they're on, like you look at the league table, they're a good team. So coming here, we know it'll be tough, but we'll take the point.
Tyler, does it almost feel like a victory where you came from tonight?
Not really, because obviously we get another goal disallowed by VAR. I feel like we've been unlucky this season. And but yeah, obviously it's a good point on the table and we need to step up from here.
You were very much at the heart of the good things for Southampton tonight and in previous games. How much are you enjoying this run you've had of Premier League games?
Yeah, obviously Russell trusts me to play me, and obviously I didn't play a lot last season. But yeah, it's good to get a run of games and show people what I can do. Flynn,
how much maturity is this young man showing for his age?
It's crazy. He's getting better and better every week. I don't know how he's doing it. But yeah, he's getting better and better, and hopefully he carries on and he's gonna have some career.
I am going to come to your goal, but Tyler, I've got to ask you, where does the confidence come from?
It's just how I play in every game, no matter who I'm playing against. When I'm playing with the 18s, 21s, in our first team, I've always been like that. I don't know.
It's just there.
Exactly.
Flynn, first ever Premier League goal. How big a moment and how important a goal?
Oh, it was unreal. What a feeling. To do it in front of the fans that have been so good this year. We know our form hasn't been great, but hopefully this is a turning point in our season.
You mentioned the word turning point. Can a result like that prove to be that moment? Is that the moment you need right now?
Yeah, 100%. As I said before, they're a top team, so to come away from home and play the way we played, I think is something we can just build on now and hopefully kick on.
Well, listen, very well done to both of you, but Tyler, especially well done to you. You are the player of the match. Right. Flynn, do the honours, although you think you should have it, don't you?
No, he's too good. He deserves all of them.
Well done to both of you.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, Tyler Dibling, once again, outstanding. Let's look at the equaliser for Southampton that earned them a point, and it was a first ever Premier League goal for Flynn Downs, as mentioned, for Southampton. It came in the 59th minute. Does it all start with Dibling?
Everything starts with him, to be honest. Glenn mentioned there how he rides tackles. People were trying to chop him all the time because everything good came through him. And to be fair, they tried to get back Brighton, get bodies behind it, but look, it just falls to Downs there, and he's just clinical and ruthless. But there's Dibling now on the ball, rides that tackle, and that's where it all starts, because then straight away Brighton are backtracking, makes that brilliant pass, powerful, cutting through. In the final third, clinical, Armstrong does what he can. But like I said there, it falls to Downs, and then he's certainly not going to miss, just puts his foot through it, and the keeper's certainly not saving it. But you're right, it started from Dibling, who was player of the match and the best player on the pitch by a mile.
Yeah, and that finish from Downs, he was alert, he was in the right place at the right time. You said that Southampton were better in the second half. Did you feel at that point the goal was cut? Did you have a premonition?
Yeah, you can see there when they're throwing bodies in the way of a couple of shots there. I thought Brighton had almost done enough to get away with it, but it was just that third opportunity where it comes out and, like I said, puts his laces through the ball, and when he's that close to the goal, it's always going to hit the back of the net. But it had been coming throughout the half. There'd been a number of instances where Southampton were in the ascendancy in the game, and Brighton just couldn't seem to get a foothold and make anything really count going the other way.
Yeah, just roughly over 7 minutes later, Southampton thought they had the winning goal. So we're going to take you through it. It was ruled out for offside. A lot of discussion going on here amongst us. We've looked up the rules. So let's share it with you now. And I think particularly the last point is of interest here. Interfering with an opponent. A player will be penalised if they are, and let's look at the last one, making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. So here is the incident. Cameron Archer had the ball in the back of the net, but this was ruled out for offside. Let's talk through it.
Well, Fraser's on the ball now, and he puts that cross in, and now the argument is whether Armstrong makes a goalkeeper stand still because he thinks he's going to be reacting off this initial save here. I think it has to be offside, because I do think the goalkeeper is denied the chance to move, even though Archer's on side, and I don't think the goalkeeper would have got there. I still think from that movement there, thinking that the goalkeeper can't move to try and react for Archer's shot.
Yeah, Verbruggen's got to hold his position on the front post, and therefore it doesn't give him the opportunity to shuffle across and be able to possibly make the mistake. I think, as far as the rules are concerned, I think it's the right decision. Whether I personally agree with it or not, that's another story, Jules.
Well, here's what the Premier League Match Centre says on their X account. The referee's call of no goal was checked and confirmed by the VAR as Armstrong was in an offside position and deemed to be impacting on Verbruggen's ability to play the ball. And there they've got a picture in alongside it. And so Southampton thought 2-1, but it was ruled out for offside. Do you think, on the balance of play overall and what we saw in the first and second half, it's a fair result?
Yes, I do. I think Brighton were the best team in the first half, and they probably had the opportunities to put the game to bed. I would say they were pretty wasteful at points. It was too easy at times in the first half for Brighton, and I said they needed to keep that energy and they needed to have that killer instinct at home with the opportunity to go outright second, should I say. And it proved not to be. Second half, I thought Southampton really rallied. Nothing to lose. They're bottom of the league. Pressure's off them. Why not have a go? And I thought the catalyst was obviously Dibling, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's just... Like I mentioned at the start of the show, he's raw. He's raw, he's fearless. And sometimes when you're breaking into the Premier League, sometimes teams don't know about you. And I feel like now teams will be double, triple teaming up on him, stopping him. If you're going to try and foul him, you probably will foul him. So he's got to be a bit stronger as he keeps moving on. Because straight away now you get the team sheet, you're like, stop him. You stop him, you stop Southampton, because the quality elsewhere isn't probably there. But he gets you into those higher positions. He got them back into the game today. And arguably, if they could have given the ball a little bit more, he might have gone on and helped them try and get the win. But he is an exceptional talent. He just needs to keep going and physically keep improving, because I think teams will now start to target him and stopping him.
Yeah, he will be suspended for the next game because he was yellow carded today, and that's his 5th yellow card. We're going to go back to the Amex Stadium now because we have more post-match reaction, especially relating to that goal that was ruled as offside. Let's hear from Bart Verbruggen.
But that's a point tonight that takes you to second in the Premier League. But could it have been more than that this evening with the chances the team created?
I think so, yeah. I do also think that we need to look at ourselves and reflect to this game, because I think there's lots of room for improvement after tonight. And yeah, like I said, we just need to look at it, reflect, and get better at certain things.
What you're saying there, you're echoing what the manager had said, that there are times where he thinks you can be a much better team. What are those areas that you need to reflect on, do you think?
Well, it's quite early after the game, but I felt like today we couldn't really put a good pressure on them. I felt like they could play out more often than not. So I think that's something we need to look at. And for the rest, I think it's we have to look at the clips first and get the emotion out of it a little bit and then see what it really is.
Certainly in the first 45, the momentum was all with you. They get the equaliser. Did you sense there was a change of momentum then in their favour?
Yeah, a little bit maybe. Of course, they score another goal, which was offside. I think it was really close as well, offside. So, I think towards the end of the game we got the momentum back. We did well, I think, the last 20, 25, 30 minutes. We got chances, just couldn't get a big chance or a good shot on goal, which is of course hard when a team defends like that. I think they did really well in the last 20 minutes. So, like I said, we have to look at the clips and then see what we have to do better.
You mentioned the goal that they have disallowed. You're very much at the heart of that. It's given because Adam Armstrong makes a play for the ball. Did it affect your view of what was going on? It was a long VAR check, a long wait. It
was a really long check, and to be honest, I don't even know. Like, it happens so quick. Sometimes you don't see what is offside or what is not. So I don't even really know why he gave it offside. But yeah, I think we got lucky there. I think it was really close. And then I think after that moment we got the momentum back a little bit and we started to press. But unfortunately we couldn't score.
Yeah, Verbruggen also just saying it was a really long VAR check. We had debate about it. There's obviously a number of rules which we've double-checked and Premier League Match Centre has clarified that as well. Just having heard from him now and about that moment, he talked about how quickly it all happened. And I suppose that's why they were being so careful with it, because, of course, it would have been a big goal if it had stood.
Yeah, it would have been huge. It would have put Southampton back in touch and distance of Crystal Palace. I think he's probably right. He probably hasn't had time to reflect on it. When these things happen, they happen so quickly, and he probably hasn't had the written explanation of why the goal has been disallowed. All he'll be bothered about is that he picked it out and it wasn't 2-1, it was still 1-1. That's all he would care about. But you can see just on the front post there, he just makes a couple of movements with his feet and he jumps twice and he has to hold his position. Usually, on the second jump, he would move across to his left-hand side. And with Armstrong's run, it just impedes that thought process. I mean, listen, whether he would have saved it if he'd moved along the line is... who knows, because it's a wonderful finish from Archer, who put himself in that position a number of times, hadn't he, Karen?
Yeah, he
and
did.
This time...
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he would have saved it, but it goes to your point. You've denied him the chance of trying because of the initial run from Armstrong. It meant there that he couldn't attempt. I still don't think he would have saved it, but we have to go by the rules. That run, Archer prevented him from trying to dive to save it because he thought it was going to him. So I think overall it was the right decision. But if you're Southampton, you're devastated because that could have been your first win. And away from home, that would have been vital for them to get 3 points, but it is what it is.
Yeah, very quickly, also Verbruggen mentioned, as we look at the Premier League table, to confirm that Brighton wins second tonight. He did mention all those chances they had in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, the stats were astounding, really, particularly in the first half, as you mentioned. And I said they'll be frustrated tonight because they go first in terms of the weekend. And you know, Brighton second in the table, brilliant. But now everyone else, you've got City and Chelsea and Arsenal all hunting behind you, and Tottenham, don't want to annoy Tottenham fans. But in terms of that race, you're thinking you could have really gone and said, we've got our 3 points today. So they'll be frustrated.
They are in second, though, and it ends 1-1 at the MX Stadium between Brighton and Southampton.
Where do you think Brighton and Southampton will end up in the Premier League table at the end of the season? Let's talk about Brighton. Right now, they are seriously challenging for a Champions League spot, if not the title. They are the first to play this week. So before the game, they are tied at same points with Chelsea and Arsenal. They are only 1 point behind second place Manchester City. They are having a very good season so far. Fans are on a high, which is why their manager Fabian Hürzeler stressed the need for staying humble and grounded, reminding them that there are 2/3 of the league to play. In the past few years, Brighton have this knack of finding unknown talent from unusual places and selling them on for big money. Moses Caicedo and Alexis Mac Allister are the latest examples. This season, they are surprisingly the big spender, spending £153.6 million in the summer transfer window. They brought in Jorginho Rutter, Yankuba Minteh, Ferdi Kadiolu, Brajan Gruda, Mats Wiefer and Ibrahim Osman, all for more than £25 million each. Along with smart signings, they see the resurgence of Danny Welbeck, the return of João Pedro from injury and the exceptional form of Carlos Baleba. The only question now is, will Brighton's exceptional form last? It is still a long way to go for the league. Opta predicts they will just miss the 4th spot. In this season of unusually tight race for the top includes a resurgent Chelsea, Man United with a boosted new manager, a long shot, but perhaps, a Tottenham who knocked title holders 4-0, and the usual suspects in Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal. 2 seasons ago they are in 6th position. Last season they slipped back to 11th. Will they go on to finish in top 4 this season? We think so, or at least they will pose a real threat to the top of the English Premier League. What about bottom of the league club Southampton? Last week showed Southampton with a bright spark of possibility. They led league leaders Liverpool 2-1 until the 65th minute. Then Liverpool's Salah stepped in with a goal and a penalty. This was their golden chance at home. If not for their sloppy back pass which got cut out and led to the first goal and their silly mistakes which led to the other 2 goals, they could have literally come out winning this game. It was not to be and they can only blame themselves. Their manager Russell Martin did just that by coming out to say that his team was so poor to concede the 3 goals. What will happen to Southampton going forward? There are no challenges more tougher than Chelsea, Aston Villa, Tottenham and Liverpool in the cup in the horizon. For the club that was relegated 2 years ago and came up again this season, there seems to be little evidence that they will stay in the Premier League so far. Opta predicts they will be bottom, which they are now. Unless something dramatic happens, the odds of being relegated back again are very high indeed.